Shivani brings out Kenny Omega, and they had this Omega frame in the ring that had a collage of photos. This looked like a paper mache project I made in like 8th grade.
It would be impressive for an 8th grader. I mean, I thought it was
9th grader. Fine. They might tell you to. It's like, okay, there's a. I don't know. This look kind of rinky dink.
This was fine. What do you have to criticize about it? What, like, it's not a perfectly curved Omega symbol?
It just it was an idea. So Kenny comes out with the Triple B, and he is joined by the Young Bucks, and they state their friendship for Kenny, but they can't stand him having this belt, so they replaced the Triple B with the old championship. And Omega remarks how he didn't know if he could hold this again after so much time. And he thanks the fans, and it is less than 50 days until Wembley. Get your tickets now. And he still has a lot of work to do, but you're going to see the best version of Kenny Omega at All In. So Will Ospreay interrupts, and he references ending the Bucks EVP roles last year. The Bucks are like, it's cool. We're fine. And asks to speak to Kenny alone. So the Bucks take off. Ospreay is happy to see him again as champion and said, you never gave up last week in that heat. He says, the cleaner is back. And for 10 years, Kenny, you've been my hero and inspired me to become the best wrestler I can be. I only wanted to be a fraction of the wrestler you are. But now I'm locked in and I don't want to be number 2. This is a real life Goku versus Vegeta. And Kenny gave the sign like, good point. I agree. Yeah.
I'm sure Kenny's anime knowledge runs way deeper than just Dragon Ball Z, but
you noob.
Maybe he appreciates it. Yeah.
He said, let's show them. This is where the best wrestle. And Kenny's like, well, wait a minute, Will. We've got a pay-per-view in a week and a half. This match might not happen. So Kevin Knight comes out and explains how he is still owed a title shot because of MJF's promise and challenges Kenny for redemption. And Kenny asks to play all of us saying, why would I give you a title shot based on an agreement you made with Max? I don't have to give you a title shot based on that, but I'm going to give you one anyway, because when I first saw you, I saw something in you. You had it. You were hungry. But then you joined the Don Callis family, and I would be a hypocrite because I did the same thing. And it was back during the pandemic when no one could attend the arenas, but no one would have come to see me anyway because my self-worth fell down the toilet aligning with Don Callis. So this is the big headline. AEW would have gone out of business with Kenny Omega as champion.
No did he crowds. Look at the ratings? Were the ratings bad? How were the buy rates? Did he check all
He did very well, both for him and TNA during that period. So he says that...
By the way, he kept calling him Maxub Jacob Freeman. Did you catch that?
It wasn't just me.
What the fuck? What? I don't understand if he was it
was twice he did this, didn't he?
Maxwell Jacob Frodman. Okay, I get it. But what is Maxub Jacob Freeman supposed to mean?
I don't know. It's maybe it's a speech pattern he has. Maybe it's it's the Winnipeg in him coming through. So I did notice that too. And I thought maybe I just misheard. But then he did it again. And I was like, there's something weird here, but I didn't write it down. So he explains that he defends MJF, saying Max is not a fraud because he defended this belt. He did what he said he was going to do. It's you that's the fraud. And the people want the Jet Kevin Knight, not the lapdog. So I want you to do it on your own. And he believes that Kevin Knight still has some goodness left in his heart. Knight says there is no goodness left in my heart, only greatness. And he strikes Kenny and he runs out of the ring. Darby jumps him from behind. Out comes the Don Callis family, and Omega and Ospreay are alone in the ring and get the Death Riders to come for backup with a big standoff with the Don Callis family. So the headline here is that we have Kenny Omega against Kevin Knight for the AEW Championship at the Redemption pay-per-view in a week and a half. And I'm just going to say this on this pay-per-view. I think this is going to be the ultimate test of AEW fans that are going to buy an AEW pay-per-view because it's an AEW pay-per-view. I think this is going to be a really tough ask for people Like, this feels to me like probably a great show on paper. That's a given. But in terms of a hook, and like, this feels like the lame duck show before All In.
Yeah. Well, this can't be it, right? Like this, like when they had MJF versus Kenny on TV, I feel like a lot of people were confident that Tony would have had something else up his sleeve for the big headlining match, if he was going to give that one away on TV. And as much as I think this match could really like deliver in ring,
this would be an awesome match on like 2 weeks notice for TV. I think this would be. I thought they did as good a job as possible setting up a match that there is a zero believability factor in Kevin Knight. And what you're promising here is
a good,
like a career making match for Kevin Knight in defeat is pretty much what you're selling here to people.
That's fine, but I don't think that'll move numbers. Like,
no, it won't. Wait, it will not. Like, there's not a hook. This is not a pay-per-view main event, in my opinion.
Which leads me to think that he's probably going to have to book something else on the like that's maybe the proper main event, as your spectacle, as your actual reason to purchase the show.
Right? I would have announced that tonight. That would have been my thought. We have one more Dynamite.
Oh my God, 100%. Yeah, I don't disagree there. So they do also set up maybe some sort of continuation of a Death Riders Don Callis family program, in all of this as well, with Will Ospreay in the middle. So you can always play with those pieces, right? You're also very curious about Speedball, but like there are hints about that coming up.
Renee is with Kenny Omega, and he says there's no shortage of credible challengers, and he still sees hope in Kevin Knight. And Darby appears saying Kevin Knight is not going to change overnight. He needs to be humbled, and he's going to take his TNT title away from him next week. And then Moxley wanders in and tells Kenny that some people are what they are, and they can't pretend to be someone else, even if they try. The end result is they have to team up next week.
These two?
They're teaming with Will next week in a trios match.
Oh, okay. Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like, continued sort of like teasing of maybe Moxley having something up his sleeve, and, certainly building a bit more tension between Moxley and Omega here.
You realize this match, and granted, I'm not even arguing it would be too short of a build. This would be so much more enticing for this Redemption show. Like, if you're going to have a sliver of doubt of, like, Will would have to beat Moxley at All In. And I wouldn't be, like, I'm just saying, like, this, I don't doubt that when this Redemption show was booked, I would imagine it was Kenny beating Max. And now they have to, like, for whatever reason, they had to do it on TV. And it just feels like this pay-per-view that we have to put this pay-per-view in, and we're not going to blow the bank off of this because the hook that we had is no longer the hook, and everything is peaking for August 30th, not July 26th. And I just think it's going to be a test of just people that are, this is AEW's reputation it is built of what it can draw without having like a big stipulation match, a big compelling title match in the main event. It's just going to be AEW loyalty for this number.
I think it shows a problem, like maybe for future editions of a show like All In taking place at a major stadium, where you need to establish your main event early enough for people that are making their plans to travel, while at the same time trying to build to a pay-per-view like 30 days out from that big show and having that feel relevant, right? WWE runs into this issue as well, but they at least now have like 2 championships, and like they can, maybe make a bigger deal out of like, one of those matches versus like 2 of them. Anyway, so yeah, bit of an issue this time, but I also think like this Redemption show will have something else that will be its selling point that they've yet to announce.
I think it's one of those where it's okay, this is not going to be our best drawing main event, but it's hopefully going to pay dividends and establish Kevin Knight in a higher role by us putting him into a main event. But it's not optimal for in terms of just drawing a pay-per-view for that one night. But it's the hope that this positioning of Kevin Knight will tell our audience like this guy is a top talent for us. It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.